All right. Let's get to business. That I can do football. All right. Jets and Ravens is Sunday. We'll get to the game. There's a game in short order. Obviously, there's a Thanksgiving Ravens game. So let's talk about still the last week's game. Jets 10, Ravens 23, M&T Bank Stadium. Ravens win their fifth consecutive game. So the team that was 1-5 is now thoroughly in the playoff picture, 6-5. That stretch, they had to have them all. They had to have them all to be in the fight. They're in the fight. Now in first place in the division with the Squealers. So good stuff going on there. Let's talk about what happened on Sunday. Old friend Tyrod Taylor, drafted by the Ravens in the middle rounds, definitely has had a whole career now as pretty much a backup quarterback. He was starting for Buffalo in a couple of years, but pretty much as a backup quarterback. Good job, Tyrod. About what I expected. 17 for 28, 222. Tyrod's a stopgap, decent enough quarterback. I think if he's on a better team than what he's on now, he would have be doing more. But this is about what you can expect from Tyrod at this point. What I expected. Better than Justin Fields. Better than Justin Fields. Not a lot of talent. Breece Hall is probably the straw that stirs the drink. 16 of 44. He was most effective, I thought, catching the ball out of the backfield. I thought that was really where he made his money. 4 catches, 4 receptions, 75 yards, 16 carries, 44 yards. The Jets line really got pushed in by the Ravens defensive line. I thought the line was better. The defensive line of the Ravens I thought was better. I think the pass rush to me is still lacking, but it was better in this game. They did get a couple sacks, and I think that affected Breece Hall running the football. So I do think that was an issue. Not great receivers. John Mechie was their top guy. They went ahead, as we know, they've gotten rid of a lot of their receivers. They make the trade at the deadline. So Garrett Wilson is not available right now. Mechie, 6 receptions, 65. He was the guy. Did most of the damage in the air as well. They did throw the Eli Mitchell. I thought Brandon Stevens was decent enough in this game. Brandon Stevens is a decent. I think that's wrong. I think that's 6 tackles. So Brandon Stevens, he didn't have 36 tackles in the game. Yeah, Brandon Stevens, I thought was probably he did a good enough job on their DBs. I think on the Ravens receivers is probably. I thought he was their best defensive player. They did get rid of Sauce Gardner. They did get rid of Quentin Williams as well. I think either Brandon Stevens or Quentin Williams I thought was good as well. But there's a lot of missing spots. Like they don't have a lot of pass rush as well. They made a lot of they made a lot of errors as well. Lamar 13 of 23, 153. I think the stats actually weren't indicative of how bad he was. I thought Lamar in the first half, that was about as bad as I've ever seen him outside of his rookie season, as far as throwing the football. He was just missing stuff. He shouldn't. When I could tell with him when he does not practice, that's a thing. When Lamar doesn't practice, you could clearly see it. And I think like he hasn't really been practicing. They had a Thursday game. He's been banged up. He's got several injuries. This is the third week in a row he came off with the toe where he had the injuries, but he's been banged up. But back to the point, when he came back the week of the Dolphin game, they really don't practice that week like they don't this week. They kind of just do walkthroughs. Then he played. Then he had a week off. Then he missed one practice and practiced twice. Then he hasn't had really 3 full practices in a week in a while. So I think that's a contributing factor. And clearly he's not running the football. He is not really putting the cape on and running the ball up the field. This was the first time I ever saw where teams didn't play him to run at all. They treated him like a traditional pocket passer for the majority of the football game. That's exactly what they were doing with Lamar. So interesting. Second half, he was much better. I thought his accuracy was much better as far as throwing the football, but he's not running the ball. I mean, clearly, unless it's just, to avoid a sack or maybe like, even when he is running, he's going straight out of bounds. He's going straight down just to get elusive, maybe 5-10 yards in the slide. Only when necessary. There's almost no design runs right now for Lamar. So fascinating. What's going on as well. Derrick Henry, all the grief fans giving him and all this stuff. He's the 6th leading rusher in the NFL. So he had 2 TDs. There are issues with the offensive line. We know. I think to me, that's the bigger problem with Derrick Henry. The line just doesn't run blocking well. That's just clear. They can't. I've been saying this, and I hate to keep beating up on. I swear to God, I don't like criticizing to this, but you can't do anything on the right side. You just can't. Anytime you try to run the ball on the right side, it's just blown up. I mean, just often like that. Everybody's picking on. I mean, some people are saying Voorhees is not missing assignment like often, or just in the wrong spot like Falele is. I don't know why people think Voorhees just isn't strong enough. He's just not strong enough. He can't hold blocks like that. Even he's doing the right things, but he's still, to quote Mike Tomlin, he's not kicking enough tail. He's not big enough, strong enough at times. That's why I see with Voorhees. That's why he's struggling. That's almost a different problem. But on the right side, you can't do anything because he doesn't even know what Falele is going to be at. Like, that's the problem. Only times, again, I saw it last year, is when they put Ricard over there. Or Charlie Cole or something like that, unless they have a heavy set or something like that. That's it. They can't do much on the right side. So that was supposed to be about Derrick Henry who went into the line as well. Zay Flowers has been fantastic. I think he's your MVP of the team. He's been that good. Zay Flowers has been good every week. I would say all of his games are kind of like this. 5 receptions, 58 yards. He had a couple rushes. I'd like to see a nice 120, 130-yard game from Zay Flowers. Like, it's all pieced together with him. So I'd like to see that, a nice game like that. But that's the only way. But Zay Flowers, I think he's probably your most valuable Raven. I mean, I think so far here as well. Jermon Jones as well. I'm taking the Ravens this week. I hope you're right, brother. Jermon Jones, I think, has been a good pickup. I can tell by listening to John Harbaugh how much John Harbaugh likes him. This is a guy they can bring in right away. He understood the Ravens defense right away. He's playing. Carl Lawson came over to see the field yet. This guy's coming right in. They're using him in third down sparingly. I don't think he's an outstanding pass rusher. I do think he is, though, helping the void. Cal Van Noy really not getting as much from him so far this year. Mike Green, rookie, still coming along. So Dream, I thought, has been really, really good for them here so far. So Ravens, 23-10 over the Jets in this game. Couple things here. Jets just aren't good at football. Like, it's Bill Parcells could overcome the Jets' issues throughout the year. I'm talking about historically. And Rex Ryan. That's about it. Everybody else is almost – I mean, there isn't almost anything else in the history where I've been watching football now for – where I can remember it about 40 years now, since I was about 8 years old. I've been watching now since I was about 8 years, where I can remember players in about 40 years. There haven't been that many good Jets teams. And it's just the owner's not good. I think he's underrated for being bad. I think Woody Johnson's a terrible owner. I think they can't keep general managers. They kind of run through general managers. They've had even some decent coaches that just can't get it squared away as well. Aaron Glenn, I don't know if he's any good as a coach. Maybe he is. I think he deserves another chance, but they traded all of his talent away, so the Jets just aren't good at football. I think that's a bigger issue with the Jets. I mean, it seems like it just doesn't work with them as well. Ravens, I thought, though, weren't great in this game. I thought they weren't playing a team that was really a good NFL team, obviously. So I'd like to see them. When you're playing a team like this, I'd like to see a little bit more really put their foot on their neck. And I kind of just didn't feel like that as well. All right. We got a game. The Ravens have gotten a lot of these games on Thanksgiving night. So the Bengals and the Ravens, Thanksgiving night on NBC, not Amazon. Okay, so I know a lot of you watching these Thursday games on Amazon Prime. I've been watching them on Twitch. If you have a Twitch account, you can watch an Amazon Game Prime video. But this game is NBC has the Thursday night opener, and they have a Thursday night game on Thanksgiving. They're going to get that as well. And so the Bengals, 3-8. I think the playoffs are done for the Bengals. They'd have to pretty much run the table. And this is a big part of the Ravens schedule. They've had 11 games. You haven't played Pittsburgh yet. You haven't played Cincinnati yet. You're going to get Cincinnati 2 of the next 3 weeks. So it'll be interesting to see Pittsburgh. You got 2 games down the stretch. So this is now the tough stretch to finish. And let's see how the Ravens do. The Bengals twice, Steelers twice, and you have the Patriots, which I think the Patriots might be the best team in the NFC or in the AFC, or if not the NFL, and the Packers in Green Bay. So in December, right? So this is it. So this is the stretch run. Always the great John Madden would talk about put yourself in a position to make a run for after Thanksgiving. We're here. Time for the run. Joe Burrow is going to play on Thursday night. He has been practiced. He practiced all last week. They didn't play him. He's a full go. He's ready to go. He is going to be the starter on Sunday night. What does that mean? So you're going to have to score better than you've been doing, right? It's a chance if you have Browning in this game, or just like you can kind of get away with that. Now the defense has looked good for the Ravens, much better, but they haven't really played at Joe Burrow yet, and I'm not diminishing that, but you haven't done that yet. So definitely keep that in mind as well. Chase Brown is back for the Raven. Is back 154, 620, 2 TDs. He's solid. I think the line isn't any good. I think kind of like the same problem Derrick Henry has as well. Jamar Chase, he's back from his spitting incident with Jalen Ramsey, 2 huge trash talkers as well. This is your main guy. This is the guy. This is the matchup you need to worry about. Joe Burrow going to Jamar Chase. No T. Higgins in this game. So T. Higgins is going to be missed this game. I think a concussion. And on defense, you're talking about former Raven Geno Stone. Obviously, to no Trey Hendrickson injury, dealing with injury as well. He's been dealing with injury pretty much most of this year as well. Bengals statistically are the worst defense in the NFL. Lamar is going to play. He just hasn't had. He's playing injured. He's fighting through it, and I think he's just trying to stay healthy. What I'm hoping is possibly after this game, if they can keep him banged up, if he's been banged up, he's going to get that kind of mini bye. He doesn't really practice this week. Obviously, they just do walkthroughs. Then you play, and then you really practice till next Thursday. So I'm thinking maybe after this game, they may ramp up Lamar a little bit for this stretch run, because then now you're going to be playing the Squealers and the Pack, etc. You're going to need him down there. We'll see. Just got to keep him healthy for the run. Derrick Henry, we already talked about 871 yards, 9 TDs. Relax. Derrick Henry's not a problem. Justice Hill, they're not going to have this game. He's out with an injury. Looks like the neck's pretty serious. Could be pretty serious. So hopefully he's okay and get that squared away. Zay Flowers growing right before us. I think he could be your most valuable Raven here as well. Let's see. Go to comments. Taking the Ravens this week. No T. Higgins. Yeah, I know. Trey Hendrickson is out. The Bengals secondary has improved a little bit. It's still bad. Kenny, their secondary has been terrible for the longest. Even when they had good defenses, their back end, I've never been a fan of it as well. Geno Stone played for us. So that tells you something. If that's your That's your number one guy. DeMar Jones, I think Draymond Jones, 6 sacks. That's total, not with the Ravens, but the Ravens and the Titans. He is your best, I think, pass rusher right now. Definitely along with Mike Green, who's still growing right before us. I do think this is potential here of a guy that they have to watch. They're really only playing him on third down, though. He's really not playing on first or second down. Best that I could see a lot of the times. They're really playing him on third down. They're playing Kyle Hamilton kind of outside, and then they're just kind of bringing him into rush, etc. So they're playing him sparingly as well. Kyle Hamilton looks like he's going to be ready to play. He did go out last week's game with an injury. We'll see about Kyle Hamilton as well. X factor is Lamar, simply because of all the injuries. He didn't play well last week, so let's get Lamar going, man. I mean, he hasn't been feeling 100%. I think they're going to need him, obviously, down the road. I don't think I need to tell anybody watching that they're going to need Lamar Jackson down the stretch. They are going to need Lamar Jackson down the stretch here as well. Bengals are bad at defending tight ends. Bengals bad at defending a lot of things. The defense is bad. I'm seeing 2 TDs by Andrews. I think the defense is bad, period. They're just not, they're just not good. They're just not efficient at all. Mike Green, the young, he got a sack last week. Mike Green's coming along. Can he take the next step? That's what I want to see down the stretch. I want to see Mike Green at the end of the season with at least 7, 8 sacks. I want to see him every game. I see a lot of rush with him. A lot of that, I described it last week, a lot of Dafioe, but he's not getting home. I want to see him get home even more. I agree with Kenny. I agree with a lot of the people that are saying I do think the Ravens win this football game. The Bengals historically do not play well in this situation. Joe Burrow was very upset. Once again, they have to go to Baltimore on Thursday night play. So I do think the Ravens offense shows up a little bit more, simply because I think the Bengals' defense is just terrible. And I think if they can get production from their offensive, the offensive line problems that the Ravens are having, I think will show up less in this game with the Bengals. I will say Burrow playing means you're going to have to score. This 23-10 stuff ain't going to work like against Cincinnati. Cincinnati is going to score some points in this game. So we will see on Thanksgiving night. We will be here after the game tomorrow night on Driving to the Top Productions and on our main channel here, Ravery Sports Podcast channel. We will go ahead and you can watch us right after the game is over. We will be here breaking down all the action right after the game. And